Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. I already have a feeling we are in for a delicious evening, right? We have one request. I know the desire to video and take pictures. This is being streamed live on Facebook. It'll be available to you. So we humbly request that if you can avoid taking pictures, and I believe me, I know it's hard, or recording it, we'd be grateful. We're going to continue with Shalom Aleichem. You'll find it on page 24 in your Sidurim.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu Ni Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedchem Leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 2. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We welcome the Sabbath bride, Lecha Dodi, page 20.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, הנה שבת נקבלה.
Shall we welcome those in our midst who are in mourning with the words Hamakom Yinachem Etchem B'toch She'ar Avlei Tzion V'Yerushalayim. May God's presence comfort you among all the mourners in Zion and Jerusalem. We continue on page 28 with the Baruch Hu.
וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני המעריב ערבים.
Top of page 31, shall we read this introduction together into the Shema? Praise to you, Adonai our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars, creator of the tide of time and light. You guide the current of day and to night. As heaven spans into infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
Shema Yisrael Shem kevod malchuto leolam va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham v'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shovbecha uv'kumecha ukshartam le'ot al yadecha ve'ayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 40, the Michamocha.
ונאמר כי יפאר אדוני את יעקב ויעלום יד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל. Hashkivenu are words of comfort, almost a lullaby. So if there's someone that you're here with that you want to share these words of comfort for, or anyone who might not be here that might need thoughts of comfort or shelter, this prayer is for them. Yeah, you can cuddle in if you came with someone. Maybe if you didn't come with them, you can cuddle in with them too. You can ask for consent though first. Hashkivenu, page 42. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, le'ha'amidenu shomreinu l'chayim, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha.
keeping with the theme of God's protection, we also ask in some ways for God's intervention. For those who are sick or in need of a prayer, we offer the Mishaberach. You'll find it on page 253 in your Siddurim. Pages 46 through 62, you'll find the Amidah, an opportunity not only for the prayers on the page, but personal prayers as well, which we encourage. If you'll please rise, 46 through 62, and when your prayers are completed, please be seated. Shall we say a prayer for the United States and indeed a prayer for Israel? You'll find that on page 258. Do join me. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael, Reshit tzmichat Geulatenu.
O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there.
Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael v'goalo. Amen. Selah. Amen. Selah.
So before I share a little story for our special Shabbat guest tonight, I want to share with all of you two questions that you might consider raising at your Seder, whether you're leading the Seder or attending the Seder, just 2 weeks from tonight. Here's the first question. What is the central message of Passover? And I don't ask it rhetorically. I'd love to hear your response. If someone were to say to you, what is the central message of Passover? How would you respond? Any thoughts? Welcoming the strangers, a nice part of Passover. You think it's the central message? It's an important message, though, right? And 36 times we're told in the Torah about how to treat the stranger, so it's an important point, though. What else would you say is the central message of Passover? Dayenu, it was enough? All right. By the way, that's not a Jewish response. It's never enough, but it was enough for that. Janine? Celebrating our freedom. That's certainly a central message of Passover. But I'm looking for something attached to that. Aviva? Redemption, good. How do you define redemption? Okay, she said there's 7 different promises of redemption, so we can define it in different ways, please.
I always say we remember the bittersweet.
We remember the bittersweet.
The bitter and the sweet, the bitter and the sweet comes up the whole.
And you think that's the central message?
I think we remember the past and we appreciate the present.
Good. Remembering the past, appreciating the future. Yes, ma'am. Love. That's always a good message. That's a good message as well. Please, Jim. Responsibility. Here's what I'm last to. Lois? We're the chosen people. Good. You know what Abraham Joshua Heschel said about that? The Jews are a messenger who forgot their message. It's a very interesting thing. Okay. And Delina? That the Jews have strength within them to go through hardship. They're all important messages of Passover, but I want to share with you what I think has been the traditional central message of Passover, and I think it's important. The central message of Passover is that God took the Jews out of Egypt. And it's interesting that the one word that was left out of everybody's description was God. The entire Haggadah focuses on what God did for us. And you know, in a traditional Haggadah, Moses' name isn't even mentioned. Passover is a statement of faith. It's a remembrance of what God did for us. And I think it's important that God isn't left out of the story. God isn't left out of the message. One of the most important gifts we can give our children is the sense of faith in God, with all the challenges that life has. So one of the questions you might want to bring out at some point in the Seder is, what do you think the central message is? It's many of those things, but I think centrally it's that God took us out of Egypt. And you know, every Friday night we're reminded of that in the Kiddush. The second question is, why did God take us out of Egypt? And that, I think, is answered the way so many of you responded. But ultimately, to become a people who will be given the Torah, which is why this holiday, Passover, is attached to the next holiday coming up. We count the 49 days of the Omer between now and Shavuot. And what is Shavuot? The giving of the Torah. Freedom is not an end in itself. It has to be attached. We're liberated for a purpose, to be given the Torah and to bring the Torah to the world. So, and now Alex, you can lower the screen for our special story. Just those 2 questions to consider enhancing your Passover Seder. Why? What is the central message of Passover? And why did God free us from Egypt? But we have a lot of good stuff about Passover coming up for some of the better half who are here today. This is a book that is actually called Passover. You ready, young people? You ready, adults? Here we go. I got the clicker here. Here we go. Oh, you can't read it, so I'll read it to you. When buds burst open and birds appear, so do our relatives. Passover's here. How many of you have relatives with you on Passover? Raise your hands. Relatives. Our house looks Passover perfect. Even Grandma says so. Everything is sparkly and clean, even Wiggly Mo. Everybody see Wiggly Mo up there? He's the younger person. At the Passover table, Mo gets excited. He asks if our new puppy Izzy's invited. By the way, who has a puppy? Anybody raise your hand if you got a puppy dog? Here we go. At Passover, Papa says, no one is turned away. If Izzy minds his manners, he too can stay. In the kitchen, Mama warms our favorite dish, matzo ball soup. Papa fixes gefilte fish. Sam adds the special bone to the Seder plate. Everyone is busy. Mo jumps up to sneak a peek. Careful, so does Izzy. That's the dog. By the way, that's a shank bone. That's not a bone for Izzy. And is Izzy, by the way, is Izzy allowed on the table? No. What's wrong with that pooch? Sundown, time for our Seder to begin. We hurry to the table. We squeeze and settle in. Mo sits in a lap to be sure he can see. Together we read the story of how now we are free. Very good. You guys are catching on. While we sip and dip and eat platefuls of cooking, Grandpa hides the matzah when he's sure we're not looking. You guys, by the way, what's that piece of matzah called? That is the bigger half of the middle matzah. And who knows where the word afikomen comes from? It's Greek, which means what? Who knows? Sorry? Doesn't exactly, it means what comes after. Literally, and that's why some people eat the afikomen for dessert. Whoever has the sharpest eyes finds the matzah and gets a... Is it here? Is it there? Behind the curtains, under the chair? We hunt high, we hunt... Where's the matzah? Does anybody? Me, no, cries Mo. He points at Izzy's teeth and gums. What's Izzy? The dog. What's left of the matzah? Only crumbs. So can you guess who wins the prize? Mo, not Izzy, the littlest of guys. Time to sing songs and eat even more while we watch for Elijah and open the... Elijah's a prophet who lived in the 9th century. He's a hero, and we set a separate cup of wine for Elijah at our Seder table. We're told that he's going to announce the coming of the Messiah, and we open the door to let Elijah in. We're full now and fat. We feel cozy and snug. We reach for each other for a huge family. Now let's together read that last verse. You can't see it? We're ready for bed. What a long, special day. We can dream now of Passover. Hip, hip. Hooray! And that's the beautiful story of Passover. This is a special, thank you. This is a special celebration because we have some young people here who are going to receive something very, very special from some of their teachers. You're welcome.
I always laugh because I think to myself, even if I don't know it's Passover because I haven't looked at a calendar for some reason, you can always tell when you start to hear some of the sweetest and youngest voices around the halls singing the 4 questions. That's always my cue. And it's always a couple weeks before I'm actually ready to start thinking about Passover. But there is something significant in that, right? It's not just the sweet sound of the voices, though that is super sweet. I think there is in that all the memories that are carried with us, right? That we sang them, or we remember watching maybe an older sibling or a different generation sing them. So it speaks really to the notion of what is at the heart of Jewish education, right? There's what we teach, but also the why we teach all of it. And so speaking of that, when a child is born, the blessing that we offer is a blessing for Torah, chuppah, and ma'asim tovim, that we wish our children a life of learning, a life of blessed relationships, and a life of doing good in the world. And I think these are the values with which we welcome our kids into the world, but they're also the values that we uphold when we decide we're going to start their religious education. And they are values that we collectively do together. We share together. We can't create any of that alone or in a vacuum.
Not to mention their values we hope that we one day will all uphold.
Agreed. And so in a minute, we are going to invite our kindergartners to come back up. But before that, we're going to get to offer you some blessings in a couple minutes. We're going to offer you one even before you come up here, a blessing based on these words. So Rabbi Josh is going to start us off.
We dedicate our children tonight to the study of Torah, to a fascination with learning, with a book, They Will Never Be Alone.
And we dedicate our children tonight, this year, to Ma'asim Tovim, to good deeds, to a concern for family and community and justice and charity. If you care for others, you will never be alone. And so in the spirit of community and family, both smaller and larger, we want to invite our students up to share a little bit of their learning by way of song.
Aleph, bet, bet,
Aleph, bet, bet,
Gimel, Dalet, hey,
Gimel, Dalet, hey.
Vav, Zayin, Chet, Tet,
Vav, Zayin, Tet, Tet.
Yud, Kaf, Chaf,
Good, Kal, Ha.
Lamed, Mem, Nun,
Lamed, Mem, Nun.
Samech, Ayin, Pei, Fei,
Shaman, Pei, Pei, Pei.
Tzadi, Kuf, Resh,
Shavi, Kuf, Resh.
Shin, Sin, Tav.
I keep out my head to remind me that God is above. Wearing the kippah is one of the ways we show our respect and our love. Wear it all day, or just when you pray. It's totally up to you. You can make him keep up out of yonder. You can buy a keeper in the store. Remember the song, if someone should ask, what is a keeper for?
So we're going to ask you guys to stay up here for just a moment. We're going to invite a bunch of people who want to give you blessings. So first, I want to invite Ashley Marks, our religious school director, and I want to invite Orly Raymond, your teacher, who you certainly know, and I want to invite Yasmin Shanasa, who's your madricha this year. And we have our rabbis and Cantor Emma, and we're all here because we want to get to give you a blessing. So I'm going to turn it over to Rabbi Yoshi, who's just getting a microphone, it looks like.
It is so exciting to see you all. You can face this way so we can all see you. Turn around. Your rabbis and your cantors, we're so proud of this moment in your lives. And we feel so fortunate and so lucky that we get to offer you this blessing. So Rabbi Woznica and Rabbi Noble, Rabbi Laufer, Cantor Lutz, and Rabbi Stern and Cantor Lamb are here with us in spirit. These words of blessing, kindergartners, traditionally we say them on Friday nights. We say them on our holidays. And parents and grandparents, you can join in, and everybody can join in. And we ask this blessing upon our little ones who fill us with hope. You fill us with hope when we see your beautiful smiling faces here on our campus, and we hear your beautiful voices. Can you look at me? Can you smile? then we know that the future is going to be bright and beautiful and filled with blessing. So Cantor and I will offer these words of blessing, and everyone can join in.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you. May God keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha.
May the light of the Holy One shine on you. And may God's face be lifted up to you. Lifted up to you. May God grant you precious gift of peace. V'yasem lecha
As you guys come off the bima, Ashley and Orly and Yasmin, they have a Sefer Torah to give you, right? We call this Kabbalat Torah, that you receive Torah, and it's all sorts of learning, right? Torah can mean the book, right, that we see when we're here on Sunday mornings, if we're here on Shabbat, but Torah can also mean all the different things that you're going to learn, both in school during the week, in school with us, and as you grow in the world. And so we're so excited to be a part of that with you, and we're so glad that you share your Torah with us. And so we're going to give a little Mazal Tov, and we're going to invite you guys are going to head that way to go back to your grown-ups, but you're going to make sure to get your Torah as you do it. So you want to come with me? You'll be our pioneer. You want to come? Beautiful. Yep. Thank you.
So we celebrate with parents and grandparents and family members who are here, but all of us shep naches at a moment like this. We all feel a sense of pride and joy, and we can think about children whom we love, if we have our own children or grandchildren, or children who have touched our hearts and our lives, and we think about the children we once were, and a moment of promise. How many of you actually still have the baby Torah you got when you were confirmed or consecrated as a child? Some of you still do? Yes. It's a precious, precious, precious object, and it stands for something which is so beautiful. It stands for Jewish tradition. It stands for Jewish values, and we couldn't be more excited. So thank you, rabbis. Thank you, Cantor. Thank you, parents. Thank you, community.
Thank you, teachers.
So we're in a very celebratory mood, and we call this a Shehecheyanu moment. Any of you who have reasons to celebrate. So is anybody here celebrating a birthday? And maybe a 24th birthday by chance? Anybody who's celebrating a birthday, if you'll stand, or if you're within a week of your birthday? Anybody here celebrating an anniversary or close to an anniversary? That would be wonderful as well. Anybody have a new baby in the family in the last 6 months or so, or is planning on having a new baby in the family in the next 6 months or so? All of you, we're so happy that you're celebrating. Anybody visiting this evening by chance? A special welcome to you as well. We ask also that our bat mitzvah Delina, if you'll join us on the bima, and can we have the children join us on the bima as well? Come on, children, you guys, you're getting your steps in, as we call it, when we get older. All the little ones, come on up here. The Kiddush is on page 5. If you'll please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam,
asher kiddushanu
b'mitzvoto, ve'atzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho,
v'yavod ratzon hinchil
Charlie, in honor of your 24th birthday, would you open the Aron Kodesh? Would you open the Ark for us?
Aleinu l'shabbat Adon hakol, v'tekidu ma'aleutzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoyim ha'aratza, ve'lo sabadu kemishpechot ha'adama, shelo samchelkeinu kahem, ve'gurulinu kechol hamonah, va'anachnu bor'im u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo
In 2 weeks, we're going to be celebrating the memory of God taking us out of Egypt and all the messages that Passover sends as well. Memory plays an important part in so much of Jewish life, and at this moment, it's the memory of loved ones whom we take into our hearts. Any of you who may be within the first 7 days observing the first, or in the first Shiva period, we ask that you rise. If you'd like to share the name of the person for whom you're sitting Shiva. Those of you who are within the first 30 days, the Shloshim period, are invited to rise. Anyone who was within 1 year of the loss of a loved one. And those of you who are here this evening observing a yahrzeit are invited to rise. You want to share that? We invite the congregation to rise as well. The Mourner's Kaddish is found on page 294. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei v'kol Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'izman kariv imru. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach leolam ulmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekutsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'imroma, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru. May God, who creates harmony on high, bring peace to us, to Israel, indeed to all, to which we say. Be seated. A couple of quick announcements before our concluding song. Join us tomorrow. If you have all the young families here are invited to Touch Shabbat and Baby Playdate. It starts at 9 o'clock here in our parenting center, and Touch Shabbat is at 10 o'clock. If you would like to join us for the second night of our Passover Seder, it's always very, very beautiful here. It's at 6 o'clock. It is led by Rabbi Ron Stern and Cantor Lutz. It'll be freilich. It'll be fun. The food will be great. And where else would you rather be on the second night of Pesach than Stephen Wise Temple? And finally, starting this Wednesday night, from 7 to 8:15 again, and then for the next 2 Wednesdays after that, you can study Kabbalat. That is loosely described as mysticism with Rabbi Yoshi Zweiback, and you can do it online. This is really exciting, bit of experiment for us, and it's interactive and live, and if you register for it, you'll get all the instructions. So, Baby and Tot Shabbat tomorrow, second night of Pesach, and starting on Wednesday night, Kabbalah online. One last word before we conclude. I have to say, every time I see young children, and I hear them singing, and I hear them sing, whether it's the Kippah song or just anything Jewish, my heart just breaks so positively. It gives me reason, it should give all of us reason for a sense that we're here for, when God freed us from Egypt, I don't know what God's plan was, but today that we're standing on a mountaintop, watching little children sing Jewish songs and looking to them in the future should give all of us hope and all of us joy and all of us a sense of appreciation. We conclude with
Words of Hine Matov, page 10.